We're in North Leicestershire, just north of the village of Bottisford, on the disused railway line. It's a dead-end railway line, not a cycle throughway or anything like that, and we're in the north of the borough of Melton. The area that we're filming here is not being prepared for a road. This is conservation in action. This was a prime area of 500 yards of mixed scrub of various heights, which is next to the river, has the benefit of the River Devon running parallel and joins at the north end an estate with sympathetic and beneficial planting for wildlife. The scrub area was mixed grasses, nettles, young shrub, young brambles, young hawthorn and elder, and there were plenty of old bird's nests to be seen when there were no leaves on. The path winded its way through and was kept open by a lady who lives a mile north on a horse riding, and her husband with a sit-on mower, and then walkers, the few walkers that came down here would keep the path open. And scrub does need managing from time to time, and this scrub would have benefited possibly from a wider path. The centre of this area here used to trap the heat in the evening, trap terrestrial flies and flies from the river, plenty of moths, a range of butterflies including the speckled ward. At this time of year would have hoped to have seen the brimstone, and one could sit quietly away, secrete oneself away in a grass area and watch the butterflies and moths work their way through the sheltered habitat of the low area through the walkway, and one could see mammals at close quarters, from bank voles to roe deer. Bats would come weaving through low, and hobbies would come through low, hunting the flies and any birds. You do hear bird sound, but the volume of birds and the volume of bird song is considerably reduced now. What has happened here, this has been cleared, as I say, not for a road. This is part of the North Leicestershire Grizzled Skipper project. The numbers of the Grizzled Skipper butterfly have reduced considerably over the years, and it is a butterfly that in the Midlands and this area has only previously thrived on industrial land, that is industrial wasteland, post-industrial land in its first year or two, where you've got heat retained in the ground, the food source, the caterpillar food source, and the food source for the low-flying butterfly, the grizzled skipper. And what this scheme is doing, this scheme is here, it is clearing the centre of the line, and no, we're not going to get meadow planting, flowers. We're going to get piles that look like graves where people have been buried where they've fallen, in the hope that the sanctuary will grow up around it. And it's the intention of the project leader, who lives nearby but doesn't visit this area. He visits areas with more biodiversity for butterflies like cockcrave wood, and the idea is that the grizzled skipper will hopefully come back at the expense of what looks like biodiversity, and is not actually looking to, the scheme is not looking to live with biodiversity. There are a number of questions about this project, about habitat assessments for the different areas and working with other wildlife. Sustrans own the line. Sustrans website, if you visit Sustrans website, Sustrans pride themselves on biodiversity, and disused railway lines are can be a very great treasure for wildlife, and there are questions about this. This work was largely completed between my visit on the 17th of March and my visit on the 17th of April, and will be referred to the RSPB investigation unit. There are questions about the biodiversity action plan and the structure of it, 2010 to 2015, that highlights the grizzled skipper as a target species. There's no mention of targeting this species, what other benefits accrue. In other words, by creating a habitat for the grizzled skipper, what other flies, moths, butterflies and plants thrive so as to put this down as a barometer species. And similar vein, the barn owl, who I do a lot of conservation work for barn owls. The biodiversity action plan says the barn owl is a good barometer of farmland life, which is not necessarily the case. It needs a bit of rough grass. We've got farmland birds and insects and pollinators declining rapidly, and ground nesting birds, so arguably one has to take care when one nominates key species in biodiversity action plans. This piece of ground was not protected. It was not protected as a local wildlife site. I didn't seek that because I never imagined that the scheme would tackle such scrubland. The area from Bottisford to Red Mile is reasonably bare and not that interesting, and so scraping the ground off and creating the stones isn't that significant. Now, the funding for all this that you will see, we will show you exactly what's been done. The SITA, S-I-T-A Trust, has been the main funder. They've received some money from Beaver Fruit Farms, and Bottisford Parish Council supported this and donated £100, though I'm sure the people that donated to this have thought it was a good thing. And I did read from one of the funders, it mentioned restoring habitat, though I'm not too sure everybody knows that you're actually trying to restore pretty much a wasteland for one butterfly at the expense of other life. If you think what you're going to see in this video is excessive, and that you think that the Grizzled Skipper project should live with biodiversity, then please contact and let your feelings known to the SITA Trust, Sustrans, Bottisford Parish Council and Butterfly Conservation, who are the people at the heart of this. It is Butterfly Conservation Project through the East Midlands Butterfly Association that are doing this, and they expect people like me and other locals to actually walk up and down here looking for the grizzled skipper. Well, there won't be much else to look for, and it won't be very pleasant doing it. Now, at the end of this video, the email details will be coming up, so if you think this is excessive destruction of habitat, and it is biodiverse habitat in Bottisford and the Melton Borough, over 400 or 500 yards that we can hardly lose, then please let your feelings be known. Thank you. Right. Now, if you could continue. Don't get me, you know. At the same time. Possibly brambles, nettles, wildflowers, grasses, all gone underneath that pile. A digger bucket has scraped off to a distance of a depth of about 15 inches, and it's all underneath gone, with us left with that unsightly pile of soil.